the fairest one of all.
Next March, Disney presents Snow Brown and the 7 individuals of unspecified gender and height.
This literally might win my 2024 award for biggest woke backfire. Snow White. There's been a new Snow White trailer released, and it is getting disliked into oblivion. And within just minutes of the new trailer being released, the movie's star, Rachel Zegler, put out a wildly divisive political post that put the movie's co-star squarely in the crosshairs of a massive woke backlash. This, I promise you, will be the last activist movie star that Disney hires for a while. Rachel Zegler's Twitter presence is going to cost Disney $200 to $300 million in losses. This is what happens when you go woke. This is what happens when, you don't learn your lesson. You hire people that hate your customers. This is what happens. And it is so incredible that not only the left, not only the right, but everybody in between hates this movie, hates the star of this movie, hates everything that Rachel Zegler says. This movie is being slammed by the right for replacing history, turning Snow White into Snow Brown. It's been being slammed by the left now because, well, Gal Gadot's served in the IDF, and that's not okay either. I remember when it was just a movie. When a movie was just a movie and you either liked it or you didn't like it. Well, the trailer currently has 494,000 dislikes. 494,000 dislikes. These people hate you. The actor hates you. She puts a Twitter post out, immediately makes it all about herself. I love you all so much. Thank you for the love and the 120 million views on our trailer in just 4 hours. It didn't have 120 million views. I am in the thick of rehearsals for Romeo and Juliet, so I'm going to get out of here. Bye for now. Also, remember, free Palestine. You do know that her co-star in this movie is Jewish and served in the Israel Defense Force. Now, I've got no dog in this fight. The whole premise of Gal Gadot being jealous of Rachel Zegler's looks is enough for me to never want to see this movie. The whole idea that Snow White with skin as white as snow is something that needed to be replaced with a brown person is enough for me to not see this movie. This woman's individual politics is also enough for lots of other people to not want to see this movie. You can see the entire Twitter feed is pulled by, they're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you. 450,000 dislikes. Those 120 million views are for Gal. Your paychecks will reflect the difference, darling. You're a DEI hire, can't act at all. And in your prime, you're still not a quarter as gorgeous as Gal Gadot in her 40s with 4 children. Oh, honey, the only thing attracting fans of this film is the evil queen. Can't wait to see Gal Gadot. You, not so much. I mean, she's getting absolutely shredded. Snow White, the evil queen, jealous of her looks. She has managed to divide literally everybody, and I'm absolutely here for it. Wow, you're such a team player. Way to support your castmate. Free Palestine from what? Their aggressive and Terry government? What a sad, petty, and ignorant person you are. Disney is not going to hire this individual ever again. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but stop giving money to people that hate you. Do not pay to see this movie. By the way, if you haven't yet, on iPhone and Android, get the Veebs app. I use it every day. This is how we win the culture war. It lets you scan products immediately to figure out if they align with your own political values. It's $1 a month. And when you download it, if you use code 4444, that's 4 4s, you get a free trial. So download the Veebs app. Stop giving money to people that hate you. They just added a new feature where you can check out hotels and travel expenses too. A hotel stays can be thousands of dollars. Why give it to woke hotels who hate you? After this, after the stream, after the video, get the Veebs app. It's on the Apple iTunes Store and Google Play. This store, and then so you can see also Reason Magazine replacing the 7 dwarves and Snow White with CGI is not progressive. So they replaced Snow White with a brown person to try and please the left. And they're mad that they've replaced the dwarves with CGI. It's so great. The left and the right absolutely hate this movie, hate this actress. Imagine what the press tour is going to be like. You have Gal Gadot, who's an Israeli Defense Force person from Israel, sitting next to Miss Free Palestine. Do you think they're going to get asked any questions about the actual movie? I don't suspect so. Watching the new Snow White teaser trailer, which dropped last week, you'd be forgiven for being confused. The live-action adaptation of the 1937 cartoon still relies heavily on animation to fill out the cast. It makes no sense to me, said Peter Dinklage, himself a dwarf, on Mark Maron's podcast to Disney's prior announcement. You're progressive in one way, casting a Latina as a Snow White. By the way, it is also not progressive to cast a Latino as Snow White. It's racist. It's saying inherently the white actress there is an inherent problem with the white actress. That's what hiring a Latina as Snow White does. It has absolutely nothing to do with being progressive. His objection quickly prompted a Disney response saying the solution that the company arrived at, replacing the characters with computer-generated renderings, and declined to cast dwarf actors who have next to no opportunity in Hollywood, that doesn't strike me as progressive. Oh, his response, I'm sorry. Not everyone was thrilled. It boggles my mind that the network, instead of listening to an entire community, said Tara Jolie, a reality television star of dwarfism. So these are 2 movie stars who have dwarfism that managed to be famous. But anyway, who had some of her family members audition for the film, that just how much pull this one person has created in society because we're there on the level of popularity. Dinklage is indeed don't really care about Dinklage. So the woke left hates the movie. The right hates the movie because they race swapped and called it progressive, which again, they only did because they wanted to, call themselves progressive. By modern day progressiveness is just replacing white people. That's all it is. Looking at the comments, I have to admit, I do admire the bravery of Walt Disney keeping the comment section open. That mirror is broken. I hope it has a warranty. Dwarven actors in Hollywood, we need to work to put food on the table. Disney, no, that's offensive. I'm rooting for the poison apple. Making the dwarves CGI so they don't have to hire dwarf actors is wild. I don't care about any of this fake outrage. Ultimately, they should have had dwarf actors, obviously, but they got major pushback because the dwarves they hired, they didn't even call. Remember when they tried to say that they weren't even dwarves? Do you guys remember that? Do you remember when Disney came out and said that they weren't even dwarves? That they were magical beings? Pepperidge Farms remembers that. So first they tried to write out the dwarves. They got a bunch of pushback. So then they tried to write in the dwarves, and now they're mad that they're CGI. Of course, Rachel Zegler getting absolutely shredded in her own replies. Thanks for reminding me why I'll never support a single project of yours again. Good to know you share the same ideology as the man who tried to, take a Jewish person's life as he screamed Free Palestine. Rachel Zegler is mad that she was upstaged by Gal Gadot in the Snow White trailer. Everybody in this reply is just being absolutely brutal. Let's not forget.
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. Remember, weird. You're all weird. Everybody's weird. You know, there's going to be no love story in a beloved love story. NPR. This woke trailer for Disney's Snow White remake has some people very grumpy. A Snow White who's not white enough. When news broke that Zegler, by the way, this is what Hollywood does now. They're only casting racially ambiguous women with wide set eyes. That's like the new look. They all look like, in my opinion, hammerhead sharks. But this is what they want to do. Obviously, a reimagination deemed too woke by some critics. She's not going to be dreaming of true love. So they're only talking about the rights backlash in the beginning. But then in the second half, they talk about the dwarf backlash. It's probably a smaller part of the story. But look, I understand why people with dwarfism, especially people in Hollywood, are mad that they didn't. This, I would imagine, would be the role of a lifetime. Just like a fat bearded guy would be a role of a lifetime for me. I'm built for it, right? How about this? Snow White star Rachel Zegler declares free Palestine while promoting a film also starring Gal Gadot. Leading to backlash, Gal Gadot faces anti-Semitic campaign after Snow White trailer. Why do you think that is? You know, maybe she should have just shut up and did the movie and acted and not injected politics into it. It feels like, you know, again, I'm just a regular old schlub here in the Midwest, but like, it feels like maybe that should have been what you did. You should have just, you know, stuck to the movie and did what, you know, anyone else would do and made your money. That's probably what I would have suggested you do. Snow White now facing anti-Israel boycott, targeting Gal Gadot. All this because Gal Gadot couldn't take her $20 million and go away. I look forward to the absolute spectacular disaster that this movie is going to be. I look forward to covering it. And so if you enjoy that as well, make sure you subscribe or follow now because it's going to be a train wreck.